I own 3 bikes. I've got a city bike, it's cheap, it gets me around the city. If it got stolen, it's not going to break my heart, it does its job. I also have a road bike, pretty expensive, allows me to go off and do fantastic long distance rides all around the Oslo region, and I also compete in it. And then I need a third bike because there's forests everywhere around where I live, and also there's mountains not so far away, so there's lots and lots of great off-road tracks to explore. And that's where the Canyon Grail comes in, because it's just the perfect balance between a mountain bike and a road bike. But also, as you know already, I want to go bikepacking all around Norway, Scandinavia, Europe, wherever. That means, do I buy a 4th bike? Well, first of all, I can't really afford to have 4 bikes. That touring bike I'd only use during the summer months for maybe maximum 3 to 4 months a year. So 8 months it's going to be sat in storage. And that's just a waste of money anyway. That's what I love about the Canyon Grail, is it's multi-purpose bike, it's versatile, it's real value for money.
Look at this, baby, look at this. Autumn in Norway. Great time to be in the forest.
It's light, it's robust, it is beautiful looking. I mean, that's where you've got to begin, because whether you like it or not, you want a bike that you can look at and say, wow, that's really nice, that's a beautiful bike. And I've had this for 2 years, and I still, even today, looking at it, I just think, oh my God, what a beautiful bike. It's so well designed, the engineering that's gone into the process of it, it's German made. This is the BMW of the bike world. I've had disc brakes on many different bikes. The biggest problem with disc brakes is the brake rubbing. Okay, we've all been there before. You know the situation where it makes a terrible squeaking noise. This is the only bike I've ever owned where I've had 0 brake rubbing. I mean, I've been in terrible conditions where it's raining so hard, there's dirt, mud, oil all over the discs themselves, and 0 brake rubbing whatsoever. Never in the whole of the 2 years I've owned it. But it's not only that. They're so receptive, the brakes. I feel so safe when I'm descending at speed. And imagine you've got all your gear on here, so it's like 20, 25, 30 kilos worth of gear. You're descending at speed, and then all of a sudden a tractor or some sort of car appears from nowhere, and you've got to really slow down quickly. The control this bike gives you, the feeling of security, the feeling of safety, knowing that this bike will be able to slow down quickly and in a safe and secure way, is just real peace of mind. This bike is fast. For a gravel bike, it is super fast. In fact, I can keep up with my mates on their road bikes while being on this bad boy. And alright, I have to push more watts to keep up with them, but it's not a massive deal. And that's saying something, considering road bikes are lighter and a lot more aerodynamic with smaller wheels. Having a fast bike, when you're bikepacking, more kilometers in a day, more fun, feeling on the bike when you're going at speed, it's a big win. Geometry is basically the angling, the measurements of the frame, how they've designed this so when you sit on it, your position on the bike. I can just imagine there's like just a number of very smart guys sat around with computers, designing this bike, talking about it, changing every small little detail to make it absolutely perfect. And that's how I feel when I get on this bike. When you're bikepacking, you're gonna be bikepacking for 8, 10, maybe even 12 hours on the bike some days. And you need to be comfortable. You need to feel you've got a good, comfortable position, because if you're not, you're gonna tense up the shoulders, you're gonna start to get some neck pain, back pain. It can be a horrible feeling being on a bike and feeling uncomfortable. Sometimes I'll go around the city on my bike doing some end runs. I put my city bike away and then I get on this one. I wanna head into the forest in the afternoon. And it's like going from coach/economy class on a plane to business class. This is business class. One thing I'll mention though is that if you're going to go for long distance bikepacking, then you probably want to replace the saddle here. The one that comes with it, it's alright, but you know, you want to get yourself a good touring saddle. So I use the Brooks B17, which is renowned for being one of the best touring saddles, and I just put that on there. But everything else, perfect. So the biggest problem with this bike is the lack of mounts. There's no holes for where you can attach things to the frame. So if you want to attach anything on the lower tube here, there's nothing available to do that. Same on the forks, and worst of all, on the seat stay bars here. So you know, if you want to get a rear rack, you're going to really have to think about which rear rack's going to fit on here, because the quick release mechanism here, you can't connect a rear rack to, so you'll have to buy an adapter or buy a specially designed which fits on here, which I had to do. The maximum clearance is 42, only 42. So if you're going off to the real extremes and you're going bikepacking in Africa or Central Asia or something, then you're probably going to want bigger, fatter tyres to deal with all them difficult terrains and roads that you're going to come across. The Canyon Grail is famous for its double handlebar system here. One, I think it looks really cool, and two, it may help with removing some of that vibration from the road itself, but from a bikepacking point of view, it's really, really impractical. And first of all, it's the limited space that you get between the bars, and fitting bags onto the bars themselves, it becomes quite tricky, where between the tyre and the handlebars there's limited space as well. So if you want to load up and you're going on a big trip, maybe 10 litres if you're lucky. You might be able to fit at the front here, but I would say probably more like 7 to 8 litres is the max you're going to fit at the front. And that can be a big issue if you really need to load up. If you're from North America or Europe and you know that you're just going to go bikepacking in your continent basically, and you know the roads, you know that there's going to be bike shops available for maintenance if required, you're not going anywhere extreme, then the Canyon Grail is a really great bike to go bikepacking in, because of how fast it is, because of the fantastic braking system on it, because it looks really damn cool and it feels so comfortable to ride. All them for me make a big difference. If, for example, you're going somewhere and doing a really crazy bikepacking adventure and you're traveling from Cairo to Cape Town or from Istanbul to China, for example, then the Canyon Grail is not the bike for you. Okay, you don't want to be taking something like this, because you're going to want something where you've got the mounts, where you can attach bags in certain places and you know that they're going to stay on, and you want a system that's going to be really practical. In addition to that as well, you've got to think about maintenance. This is just a normal style bike that, you know, needs to be maintained on a regular basis. If you're going for long distance bikepacking, then you're going to want a bike that has a low maintenance setup on it. I love this bike to pieces. It's been one of the best investments ever. It was worth the money, no, hands down. I've used it so much. I've had so much pleasure out of it. It's been so reliable. I look forward to many more years of riding this bike and having a lot of fun on it.
Here we go.